Welcome to the Prince I Am 4 YouTube channel. In the last episode, I discussed a broader topic: completion versus execution. Completion is simply getting things done. Execution is how you get those things done. Both are very important. Like, sometimes I think your execution is more important than your completion, but the fact that you completed it is critical in and of itself. I don't know if it's Kobe, Wayne Gretzky, whoever, but it was like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I think that's an important way to look at things in life. But what's the difference? In my opinion, I think I want to use two examples. First is typical one I like to use, just going to essays in college. There have been plenty of essays people have done. I've done a couple where I've done a few where you just got it done, probably realized the night before, or remembered the night before, or put it off until the night before, and you're just like, gotta get this essay done. So you're just like going through it, page requirement, you're just like, okay, boom, got that done, and turned it in. You probably did decently on it. And then there's a type of, that's just simply completing it. And then there's a different way you do it. Sometimes it's something you're excited for. Sometimes you just put in the time and effort for, and you actually execute very well. It's like you got to put in the foreshadowing. You got to read it and say, oh, I can add in certain nuances to certain elements in this paper, and just really bring home and emphasize certain points that I need to. And that's truly the difference between completion and execution. I'm trying to go from that's greater than just completing. I want to execute things very well. Another example I want to use is Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. J. Cole's voice is so distinct. It's so very distinct. He doesn't even have to do anything with it. He just comes on any track. His voice is so distinct on it. And I don't want to limit what Cole's voice does for his tracks as just completion in comparison to other rappers, but for this argument's sake, we're going to limit it to completion. Cole's voice is just, it is what it is. It's distinct. It's deep. It's raspy. It's Cole. He comes on the track with that voice. Job's already done. That's completing it. But what Kendrick does is execution. He manipulates his voice and uses it in a wide variety and multifaceted ways. Sometimes it's high and pitchy. Sometimes it's like, and with the assistance of technology at times. Kendrick is just able to manipulate his voice and execute different moods and feelings and sensations in his music that just takes his artistry to another level. He uses his voice as the ultimate tool in a lot of his tracks. If you listen to Swimming Pools, or if you listen to For Free, those are very different executions that he did. But if you listen to Cole, whether it's Tribe, or it's Sacrifices, or if it's Workout, like it's just always Cole being Cole. His voice hasn't really manipulated it. Not saying he doesn't do it. He has done it certain occasions, but like most times he's just it is what it is. And it's a dope voice to have. I don't have it, but if I did, I'd just be like, hey, here it is. It's kind of like the guy who speaks for Archer and Bob's Burgers. It is what it is. That's the kind of voice Cole has. Or like Cree Summers. Cree Summers is very like, her voice is so distinct. You notice it, whether it be Number 5 or The Mean Girl from As Told by Ginger, or just if you ever watch A Different World. But like Kendrick's voice is more like the guy who speaks from Billy and Mandy. His wide variety of characters is just like that. It's changed and altered to fit certain moods, and it's just two different ways of doing it. You can just complete it, or you can execute it, and I just think that's very important. And I use that Cole and Kendrick Lamar example, but I don't want to belittle Cole. Cole is phenomenal. I just think people confuse executing and completing. Completing could just be like taking out the trash. Executing is making sure your recycle, like all your recyclables are actually recyclable. Um, and it takes a little bit more effort. It takes a little bit more effort than just going in and being like, boom, this is what it is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Me just getting in my little completion versus execution, bag. But this has been a whatever Wednesday, where I just want to talk about whatever comes to mind. This time it was execution versus completion. Now stay tuned, because Friday will be another Finance Friday. A lot more concise with this. I was a little sick last Friday, so I couldn't really do it the way I wanted to. Thank you for joining. My name is Prince Mays. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Yeah, because there's more content coming. I think you have a blessed one.